The cardiac monitor in Bay 4 was screaming loudly at 2:17 in the morning, but Dr. Julian Vance had not looked at it once. He was glaring directly at Maya Mercer across the busy emergency station desk. The termination paperwork was already on the counter, slapped down flat with pure satisfaction. The entire staff went quiet, the kind of heavy quiet that happens when something very bad is unfolding. "Sign it," he said, "or security walks you out unsigned. Your choice." Maya didn't look at the paper. She was looking at Bay 4, where a gurney had just come crashing through the main double trauma doors. Pushed by two paramedics moving with controlled urgency, the man on the gurney was in his 40s, wearing civilian clothes with one boot missing. His pale face was the gray-white of dangerously crashing vitals. She picked up the pen and signed quickly. Then she walked straight toward Bay 4. Dr. Vance called after her angrily, but she did not hear him. She was already reading the critically injured patient thoroughly. The position of his neck, the shallow chest movement, and the distension of the jugular veins on the right side had nothing to do with a car crash. The paramedic's urgent handoff came through in pieces. Blunt trauma, reported accident, blood pressure 74 systolic and dropping fast. Oxygen at 79%. The paramedic gasped. He looked at Maya. No vehicle was found at the scene. No ID, no wallet at all. Maya placed two fingers against his neck. The subtle tracheal shift displaced to the right took real combat training to find. Looking closely at his hands, she recognized the distinct callus on his thumb. 14-gauge needle, second intercostal space, mid-clavicular line, Maya ordered firmly. The paramedic stared in shock. "Right now," she commanded, and he moved instantly to retrieve the equipment. Behind her, Dr. Vance stormed into the bay with cold anger. "You are no longer staff here, Ms. Mercer. Step away immediately." The monitor was blaring at 71 systolic oxygen dropping and pulse racing at 142. "Tension pneumothorax," Maya announced clearly so everyone in the room heard. "His trachea is displaced, right? Breath sounds are absent on the left, and we must decompress right now or we will lose him." Dr. Vance stepped in her way, acting like the chief who had never been questioned by subordinates. Maya located the second rib, mid-clavicular line. Her steady hands had not shaken once in 7 long years. She inserted the needle smoothly. Within 3 seconds, the rush of trapped air was audible across the entire room. The numbers climbed to 86 systolic oxygen rows, and color returned to the man's face. His eyes opened and found her immediately with intense focus, looking at her like someone from the same classified unit. He whispered one raspy word. Valkyrie. Maya went completely still upon hearing it. She had not heard that call sign in over 2 years. Meanwhile, CEO Arthur Pendleton learned about the incident at 3 in the morning when Dr. Vance called in a panic about the unauthorized intervention. "Walk her out and document the incident as unauthorized," Pendleton ordered coldly. 20 minutes later, his phone rang from an unknown number. "Is the nurse still in the building?" the deep voice asked. Pendleton confirmed she had been removed. A cold pause followed on the line before the caller replied. That was a catastrophic mistake. The line went dead, leaving the hospital executive sitting in the dark. Before nursing school, Maya Mercer had served as an elite Air Force pararescue specialist, jumping into combat zones where active fire raged. She filed her separation papers after a harrowing mission in Syria. She needed to save lives with her hands rather than catalog losses. Her 11 months at Crestview Memorial had been manageable until Dr. Vance targeted her for uncovering his dangerous administrative errors. She had flagged a medication error traced to his protocol and formally reported the premature discharge of an elderly veteran named Mr. Callahan. Dr. Vance told her to execute treatment plans, not question them. The termination notice followed soon after. Maya stood outside in the cold parking lot at 4:48 in the morning, waiting calmly with the trained patience that had once kept her alive during classified missions. At 5:09, two dark SUVs arrived. At 5:12, a military transport rolled in, followed by the roar of approaching helicopter rotors. A Black Hawk touched down precisely on the asphalt with formidable authority. Rear Admiral Helena Cross stepped out in full-dress uniform and walked directly toward Maya. Behind the glass doors, Dr. Vance and CEO Pendleton watched in sheer terror as armed tactical operators deployed. Petty Officer Mercer, Admiral Cross stated formally, "Commander Gabriel Ross is asking for you specifically. He is stable, but he has a very strict preference about who manages his critical medical care." Dr. Vance hurried through the automatic doors, but Admiral Cross ignored him completely. Turning back to Maya, she ordered, "Walk me through the Callahan case. We have 12 minutes before the JAG team lands." The federal investigation opened 4 days later. 3 years of buried malpractice complaints were uncovered after an ER tech named Devin Brooks and several courageous nurses submitted hidden documentation. A financial audit exposed fraudulent billing. CEO Arthur Pendleton resigned on day 11, and Dr. Vance had his medical license suspended indefinitely as Maya's ignored clinical reports became key evidence. Maya visited Mr. Callahan on the 4th floor on day 7. The recovering veteran looked up and said softly, "Heard you stayed in that cold parking lot? Most people move on. You didn't, and you saved my life." She declined a prestigious Department of Defense offer on day 9. Maya chose to stay at the local hospital because patient care was her true calling. Proving quiet competence always outlasts corrupt power.